Mark is 29 years old. First real job with benefits. First time his name is on a corporate badge. He has a student ID on his keychain that suddenly feels a little out of place. The lanyard with his new company logo feels heavier than it should, like someone just handed him a life he's supposed to know how to run. He clicks the email. There it is. The one sentence every responsible voice in his life has been echoing. We recommend contributing as much as you can to your 401k. It feels less like a suggestion and more like a rule. He doesn't know it yet, but that one sentence is about to be his entire strategy for the next decade. Nobody tells him the finish line already has a name: the employer match. Alex gets the same email that week. Same job, same salary band, same HR script. He pauses a little longer on that sentence. In his head, it doesn't sound like a rule. It sounds like a question. As much as I can, after what? He scrolls down the page, looking for any hint of, after the match, do this instead. There isn't one. The email stops right where his questions start. First paycheck where the 401k really shows up. Mark sees the usual lines: salary, taxes, deductions. Then he sees two new ones: 401k pre-tax, 5%. Company match, 4%. He contributed 5% of his pay. His employer added 4% on top of it. He puts in $5. They put in $4. Before the market does anything, his $5 contribution just got an instant 80% return. There is nothing else in his financial life that works like this. Not a savings account, not an index fund, nothing. This is the one part of the advice that is 100% correct. The match is mathematically unbeatable. The match is the finish line of one race. Mark just crossed it. He just doesn't know it yet. Alex's pay stub looks almost identical. Same salary, same 5%, same 4% match. He's already thinking ahead. For him, that 9% going into the 401k is not the whole plan. It's step one. If someone stopped the story here and showed you only these pay stubs, you'd swear they were on the exact same path. Over the next few years, Mark does everything he's supposed to. Year one, he starts at 5%. HR sends a newsletter. You could be saving more for retirement. He bumps it to 8%. Year two, he gets a raise. At Thanksgiving, his parents ask, "Are you saving for retirement?" He tells them, "Yeah, I'm increasing my 401k again." They're proud. They wish they had had that option at his age. They tell him stories about pensions that disappeared, companies that folded, and how nobody explained any of this to them until it was too late. To them, their son maxing a 401k feels like he's finally breaking the family pattern. Year three, he finds a Reddit thread. Top comment: if you're maxing out your 401k, you're basically set. He reads that line 3 times. Maxing out starts to sound like the finish line. By year 4, he's there. He's contributing enough each paycheck to hit the full annual IRS limit by December. The portal gives him a little badge: on track to max. Friends at dinner say, "I wish I had my life together like that." In group chats, he's the guy people tag when someone asks, "What should I do with my money?" His answer is always the same: max your 401k. It's what I'm doing. On paper, he's the success story. Every responsible voice is telling him he's doing everything right. He's not reckless or lazy. He's disciplined. He's just pushing one lever as hard as it can go. Around the same time, Alex gets the same HR nudge. Consider increasing your 401k contribution. He doesn't. It's not because he doesn't want to save. It's because he's already decided what the 401k is for: capture the match. Everything after that belongs to a different blueprint. To everyone else, it looks like Alex is doing less than Mark. Alex just knows the story will look different when they both log in 20 years from now. A few months later, they're all out to dinner. New job friends, same department, different teams. At some point, the conversation drifts where it always does in your late 20s: money, debt, retirement. One coworker pushes his plate away and admits it. "I still haven't set up my 401k properly," he says. "I think I'm not even getting the full match. I keep meaning to, but I hate forms." There's a half second of silence. Everyone at the table feels the same little jolt. Man, you're leaving money on the table, someone says. Just log in and fix it this weekend. The coworker nods, half guilty, half overwhelmed. He jokes that he'll do it the next paycheck, the same way people say they'll start going to the gym on Monday. Mark doesn't have to say much. He's been maxing his 401k for years. He's been doing what you're supposed to do since week 1. In that moment, he feels it, that small rush of relief. He is ahead of most people. What he doesn't know yet is that ahead of most people is not the same as optimized. Alex hears the same confession. He feels the same "dude, just enroll" frustration. But in his head, he's not thinking about the coworker who missed the match. He's thinking about something else. What happens to Mark's next dollar after the match? Where is it actually doing the most work? He knows almost nobody at that table has ever been taught to ask that question. The default script stops at "max the 401k" and never turns the page. On paper, Mark and Alex look almost identical. Same job title, same salary band, same employer match. They both hit the match from day 1. They both let that match keep rolling. The difference starts at the next dollar. Early on, Alex sat down and asked a question most people never get to. Once I've got the free money, where does the next dollar actually do the most work? He doesn't phrase it like a finance professor. In his head, it's simpler. If the match is the finish line of this race, what's the next race I should even be running? He decides on a sequence. He's not trying to squeeze every last drop out of a spreadsheet. He just wants each dollar to have the right job. Step 1 is already done. 401k to the match. Step 2 is a Roth IRA. It takes him maybe 10 minutes. Name, address, social security, link bank account. Done. He likes a few things about the Roth. The money grows tax-free. He can pull his contributions back out if he ever needs them without penalties. He's not handcuffed to 59.5. If he's eligible, step 3 is the HSA. He reads that phrase, triple tax advantage, and smiles. For once, the marketing might actually be true. Money goes in pre-tax, grows tax-free, and comes out tax-free for medical costs. He treats it like a stealth retirement account, not a coupon card. Step 4 is a plain, low-fee brokerage account. No tax break up front, no special label. Just a place where dollars can buy broad market index funds with rock-bottom fees. He likes that some money there can be used at 40 or 45 for a down payment, a sabbatical, starting something new, without having to ask permission from the IRS, the account that doesn't care how old he is. To Alex, this isn't some exotic strategy. It's just refusing to let one checkbox from an HR form decide what happens to every future dollar. He's not refusing the 401k. He's just refusing to let it swallow every spare dollar after the match by default. For Alex, the match is the finish line of one race. Everything after it is a choice. It takes Mark years to realize there was a second race. One evening, after another "you're on track to retire a millionaire" email from his 401k provider, he decides to finally look under the hood. He's proud of the balance. It's a real number now, not a little line hidden on a pay stub. But tonight, he's not looking at the balance. He's looking at 2 numbers nobody ever mentioned in the orientation packet. The first is fees. For years, most of his money has been in a couple of actively managed funds inside the 401k plan. The expense ratios are around 0.8%. He finds the equivalent broad market index fund he could have bought in a Roth or brokerage account. The fee is 0.05%. The difference of about 0.75% per year. It doesn't sound like much. Over 30 years, in a simple max-out example with the same contributions and the same market returns, that 0.75% fee gap adds up to roughly $200,000 that never actually lands in his account. That's not a rounding error. That's the kind of number that changes what retirement actually looks like, quietly leaving through a door he didn't even know was open. The second number hits differently. Access. Everything above the match that he's been stuffing into the 401k is behind a door that might as well say, "Come back in 20 years." If he wants to use it before 59 and a half, it's a maze of exceptions, penalties, and forms. He imagines himself at 45, burned out, maybe wanting to leave his job for a while or start something smaller. On paper, he's got a big retirement balance. In reality, almost all his savings live on the wrong side of that door. He doesn't have Roth contributions he can tap. He doesn't have a taxable account with optionality. Alex's stack, by comparison, looks less dramatic in any one column, but it's spread out, and some of those dollars can move before he's 60. Mark realizes they didn't save different amounts of money. They saved different kinds of access to the future. Mark sits with this. He's not angry. He's not even embarrassed. He did exactly what everyone told him to do. HR, blogs, parents, Reddit. The advice wasn't wrong. It was just incomplete. Nobody ever said, "The match is the finish line. Everything after it is a choice." Mark's problem was never that he trusted the 401k. The trap wasn't the account. The trap was treating max it out as the finish line. Contribute as much as you can is great advice for someone who hasn't hit the match yet. After the match, it stops being advice. It becomes a default. The employer match is non-negotiable. That's the finish line. Every dollar after that should be a comparison, not a default. If you're not at the match yet, the whole plan is simple. Get there. If you're at the match, the next step is not jam every extra dollar into the same box. It's ask where the next dollar actually does the most work. For Alex, that answer was match in the 401k, then Roth IRA, then HSA if eligible, then low-fee brokerage. Only then think about pushing the 401k higher again. But the idea is the same. The 401k is one tool in the system, not the system itself. Over 30 years, a small fee gap and a different sequence for the next dollar don't feel dramatic on any single payday, but they change where you land. The finish line you were never shown was the match. Everything after it is a choice.